One of the questions that comes up quite a lot in our retreats, people often ask me about rebirth and karma. So today's talk is on Buddha nature, karma and rebirth. Buddha nature is a fundamental concept in Buddhism that refers to the inherent potential for enlightenment that exists within all beings. The idea is central to the Buddhist teachings and is considered to be one of the core beliefs of Buddhism. This concept also aligns with the core tenets of yogic philosophy, emphasising the innate divine quality within all individuals that can be actualised through spiritual practice. Buddhism asserts that all living beings have the capacity to achieve enlightenment and liberation from the cycle of birth and death. This capacity is called Buddha nature, and it is said to be present within each and every being, regardless of their species, race, or religion. In harmony with yogic thought, according to Buddhist teachings, this potential for enlightenment is not something that can be achieved or earned, but rather it is already present within each of us. The Buddha himself said that all beings possess the Tathagata Garbha, or womb of the Tathagata, which refers to the seed of enlightenment that exists within all beings. However, the realisation of this potential is not automatic and requires effort on the part of the individual. This effort involves following the Eightfold Path as taught by Buddha, which is the path to enlightenment and liberation. The yogic parallel suggests that this potential for enlightenment can be unveiled through diligent efforts, such as following the Eightfold Path, through the yogic journey toward wisdom and liberation found in the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali, known as the 8 limbs of yoga. The 8 limbs of yoga, as decoded by the sage Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras, form a comprehensive guide to holistic living and spiritual growth, and are looked at in greater detail during separate talks later this month. But in summary, these limbs provide a structured framework for individuals seeking a path to self-realisation, or in Buddhist terms, liberation. The first limb contains a set of 5 yamas that provide an ethical foundation by outlining moral principles governing one's behaviour towards others and the world at large. The second limb contains 5 niyamas that emphasises self-discipline, self-study and devotion, fostering a personal growth and inner harmony. Asana is the third limb, involves the practice of physical postures, promoting strength, flexibility and balance in the body to prepare for meditation. It is about finding a comfortable seat, both on the mat and in our lives. Pranayama, being the 4th limb, focuses on breath control, harnessing the life forces to cultivate energy and mindfulness. The 5th limb, pratyahara, directs attention inward, withdrawing the senses from external stimuli to facilitate concentration and put aside distraction. Dharana, the 6th limb, involves focus on a single point, paving the way for meditation, dhyana, the 7th limb, where the mind achieves deep, undisturbed focus. The culmination of this journey is samadhi, the eighth limb, a state of profound bliss and oneness with the universe, symbolizing the ultimate realization of self and spiritual union. Practicing these 8 limbs of yoga provides a holistic approach to harmonizing the physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions of one's existence. The Eightfold Path includes 8 steps. These include right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. One of the key aspects of the Eightfold Path is the development of wisdom, which involves a deep understanding of the nature of reality and the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths are the foundation of Buddhist teachings and state that all existence is suffering, that the cause of suffering is craving and attachment, that it is possible to end suffering, and that the path to the end of suffering is the Eightfold Path. Buddha nature is a central concept in Buddhism that refers to the inherent potential for the enlightenment that exists within all beings. According to Buddhist teachings, this potential can be realized through the practice of the Eightfold Path, which leads to the development of wisdom and understanding of the nature of reality. By realizing our Buddha nature, individuals can achieve liberation from the cycle of death and birth and death and attain enlightenment. Karma is a central concept in both Buddhist and Zen philosophy and aligns with yogic principles, which explains the cause and effect relationship between a person's actions and their consequences. The idea is that every action one takes, whether positive or negative, will have a corresponding effect on your future experiences and circumstances. In yogic philosophy, understanding karma becomes a powerful motivator for ethical behaviour, encouraging individuals to act in ways that encourage positive experiences and discourages actions that will lead to negative consequences. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of karma is closely tied to the doctrine of rebirth. According to Buddhism, all beings are subject to the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and the experiences and circumstances of each life are determined by the accumulation of karma from previous lives. The ultimate goal of Buddhist practice is to break free from this cycle of rebirth, achieve enlightenment, which is believed to be possible through the cultivation of wisdom, compassion, and ethical behaviour. Yoga's emphasis on mindfulness resonates with Zen philosophy, wherein practitioners strive to live in the present moment. Furthermore, mindfulness and awareness of thoughts, feelings, and actions align with both the yogic ideals and Zen, inducing positive mental states and ethical conduct. This practice helps us to cultivate positive states of mind and act in ways that are consistent with the principles of compassion and wisdom. In both Buddhist and Zen philosophy, the idea of karma is seen as a powerful motivator for ethical behaviour. By understanding that our actions have consequences, we are encouraged to act in ways that will bring about positive experiences. And of course, to avoid actions that will result in negative consequences. This understanding helps to foster a sense of responsibility for our own lives and for the lives of others, and encourages us to act in ways that are beneficial to all. Karma is a central concept in both Buddhist and Zen philosophy and is seen as a fundamental principle of cause and effect that governs the experiences and circumstances of our lives. By understanding and embracing the concept of karma, we can cultivate a sense of ethical responsibility and act in ways that bring about positive experiences for ourselves and those around us. Through mindfulness and ethical behaviour, we can break free from the cycle of rebirth and achieve a state of enlightenment and ultimate peace. The belief in rebirth, also known as reincarnation or samsara, states that after death, the soul is reborn into another body and continues to be reborn in a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of rebirth is closely tied to the teachings on impermanence and the Four Noble Truths. According to these teachings, everything in the world is impermanent, including the self. The cycle of birth is seen as a result of the desires and attachments that individuals have in their lives. This creates a cycle of suffering, as individuals are constantly reborn and face new challenges and new difficulties. The goal of Buddhist practice is to break free from the cycle of rebirth and achieve liberation or nirvana. And this is achieved through the development of wisdom and the elimination of desires and attachments. By understanding the nature of reality and the impermanence of all things, individuals can attain a state of peace and liberation. The concept of rebirth, integral to both Buddhist and Zen teachings, finds common ground with yogic beliefs in the cycle of life, death, and reincarnation. Yogic philosophy, too, acknowledges the impermanence of all things and the self, suggesting that desires and attachments contribute to a cycle of suffering. Liberation, or nirvana, is the shared goal, achieved through the development of wisdom, elimination of desires, and understanding the impermanence and illusion of reality. In Zen philosophy, the focus is on achieving enlightenment through meditation and mindfulness. The concept of rebirth is seen as a means to understand the impermanence of all things and the ultimate emptiness of the self. The idea is to focus on the present moment, this very moment, and let go of all desires and attachments in order to achieve a state of enlightenment. The belief in rebirth provides a framework for understanding the impermanence of all things and the cycle of suffering that results from the desires and attachments of this life. Through the development of wisdom and mindfulness, Individuals can break free from the cycle of rebirth and attain liberation or enlightenment. Buddhism is a complex and multifaceted system that encompasses a variety of beliefs and practices. But at the core of Buddhist teachings are the concepts of Buddha nature, karma, and rebirth, which are both interrelated and interdependent. Buddha nature refers to the idea that all beings possess an innate divine quality that can be realised through spiritual practice. It is often described as the pure, unchanging essence of the self that lies beyond the realm of suffering and ignorance. By realising our Buddha nature, we can overcome the cycle of rebirth and attain enlightenment. Karma, another important concept in Buddhism, which refers to the law of cause and effect. It states that every action we take has a reaction, a corresponding result, whether it be positive or negative. Our karma shapes our experiences in this life and in future lives as we are reborn over and over again. The actions we take in this life determine the circumstances of our future lives, creating a cycle of rebirth and suffering. Rebirth is the belief that our true self continues after death and is reincarnated into a new body. The quality of our future lives depends on the karma we have accumulated in our past lives. This concept of rebirth reinforces the idea of karma and the importance of our actions in shaping our experiences. In the Zen tradition, these concepts are integrated into a holistic practice aimed at realising one's Buddha nature so that we can attain enlightenment. Through meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection, yoga and Zen practitioners seek to develop an awareness of their own minds and the true nature of reality. This practice helps them to purify their karma and transcend the cycle of rebirth, leading to a state of freedom from suffering and ignorance. In the holistic harmony of Buddhism and yogic philosophy, the interdependence of Buddha nature, karma, and rebirth becomes evident and are interrelated in shaping our experiences in this life and beyond. Through spiritual practices and understanding these interconnected concepts, individuals can navigate the cycle of rebirth, break free from suffering, and ultimately attain enlightenment and liberation. The shared pursuit of wisdom, ethical behaviour, and mindfulness creates this path towards inner transformation and a spiritual realisation. Thank you for listening.